So lately, I've been seeing all this talk about vibrational frequency in a lot of the spiritual stuff I've been reading.
Uh-huh.
And it's always presented as this key to unlocking all this crazy spiritual growth, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Even presented as some kind of secret knowledge that
Yeah.
only the top 1% of people understand.
Mm. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
It
This
is.
whole top 1% framing,
Yeah,
it makes you wonder what makes this knowledge so exclusive.
right.
Is it really hidden? Or is it more about a shift in how we're seeing things,
Mm.
that lets you actually see and work with this subtle energy?
That's a great point. It's
Yeah.
kind of like those optical illusions. You
Okay.
just can't see the image until someone's like, oh, look, it's right there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then you're like, oh, wow, I see it now.
Right.
Maybe understanding vibrational frequency is like that. Like
Hmm.
it's a way of looking at the world that's always been there.
Yeah, yeah.
We just haven't really learned how to tune into it yet.
Yeah, I think that's a great analogy.
So first things first, how would you say your source defines vibrational frequency?
The source describes it as this idea that everything in the universe is vibrating at a certain energy level.
Okay.
From physical stuff to even our thoughts and emotions.
Oh.
It's not presented as a hard science thing like you'd see in a physics textbook,
Okay.
but more as a fundamental principle of how energy works.
Hmm.
In the spiritual realm,
Mm.
it's kind of like each thing has its own signature vibration.
So it's less about measuring hertz and more about understanding that everything's got its own energetic hum.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And that hum, that vibrational frequency, it influences everything.
Uh-huh.
How we see the world, how we connect with people.
So it's almost like we're all broadcasting on different radio
It's
stations.
a great analogy, yeah.
And the clearer the signal,
Right.
the stronger that connection. Okay, I like that. That makes sense. But if everything is always vibrating, what makes the difference between our station playing static or having a crystal clear broadcast? Do we have any control over our own frequency?
Your sources say we absolutely do.
Okay.
There are a few key things that can impact our vibrational frequency
Mm-hmm.
and your thoughts and emotions. Those are the big ones.
Okay.
Think about it. Have you ever noticed how being around some people just leaves you feeling energized and inspired,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
but then others just completely drain you?
Oh, 100%.
It's like some people just have their own personal rain cloud over their heads.
Right. And some are just radiating sunshine.
That is a perfect example of vibrational frequency in action.
Hmm.
The source really emphasizes that negativity, like fear, anger, or resentment, acts like a weight,
Uh-huh.
just dragging down your energy.
So it's not just about trying to be happy all the time. It's about understanding our emotions have a real impact
Yes.
on our energy.
Yeah, it's tangible.
But how does that actually work? Does the source get into that at all?
The source uses this analogy of a tuning fork.
Okay.
Imagine you strike one tuning fork
Yeah.
and you bring it close to another one that's not vibrating.
Okay.
That second one will start to vibrate at the same frequency as the first one,
Mm.
even though you didn't hit it directly.
Right.
It's the same with us, our thoughts and emotions.
Yeah.
They influence the people and situations around us. We're literally emitting these vibrations.
Wow. So we're not just receiving energy.
Right.
We're actually creating the energy around us too.
Exactly. We're active participants.
That's pretty powerful. So if our thoughts and emotions are that influential, what can we do to make sure we're putting out a frequency that's good for our spiritual growth?
The source really stresses focusing on positive emotions.
Okay.
Things like love, gratitude, and joy. Those are essential for raising your vibrational frequency.
So it's not about suppressing negative emotions.
No, it's about consciously shifting your focus towards the feelings that uplift you, that make you feel empowered.
So instead of forcing myself to be happy all the time, it's more about recognizing when I'm feeling down
Yeah,
and making an effort to change my perspective.
exactly. It's all about building awareness,
Okay.
noticing how you're feeling, and then using tools
Uh-huh.
like mindfulness or meditation
Mm.
to change your state.
Mm.
That's where the real work begins.
This is all making sense, but it also raises another question for me.
Sure.
If our thoughts and emotions are constantly influencing our vibration, does that mean we're at the mercy of every little mood swing?
Right?
It seems exhausting to try to control every thought.
It's a journey,
Right.
not a destination.
Yeah.
Your sources don't advocate for this manic positivity.
Okay.
It's about cultivating a baseline of awareness.
Okay.
So you can start to notice the patterns.
Right.
And then you can start making choices about how you feel.
Okay.
It's much more manageable than you might think.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So it's not about this unattainable perfection.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's more about learning to manage your energy.
So there are probably specific techniques the source talks about
Yeah.
that we can maybe dive into a little later.
Right.
But there was one more thing that really stuck out to me.
Okay.
The source mentions that our physical body plays a role in our vibrational frequency, too.
Absolutely.
How does that fit into all of this?
Our physical bodies are not separate from our energy.
Right.
They're very connected.
Yeah.
What you eat, how you move, your environment, it all plays a part.
So it's not just about our inner world, it's our outer world, too.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is really interesting.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think of it this way. Your physical body is like a vessel
Okay.
for your energy. And if it's clogged up, it will impact how that energy flows.
Right.
And if you're in chaotic or low vibe environments, it's harder to keep your frequency high.
I'm starting to see how all of this connects now. So to kind of sum up, raising our vibrational frequency is about being aware of the energy we're putting out there
Yes.
and making choices that support us.
Precisely. As we dig deeper into the source, you'll find specific practices and techniques that can help with that.
Okay, I'm excited to hear about those techniques, but I think that's a good place to stop for now.
Okay.
We'll come back and keep unpacking vibrational frequency and spiritual growth in part 2.
Sounds great.
Welcome back. So we've been talking about this whole vibrational frequency thing and how it's like our own personal energy broadcast that affects everything around us.
Right?
Before the break, we were talking about how even our physical bodies play a part in that.
Uh-huh.
So I'm curious, what does the source suggest we can do to make sure our physical vessel is supporting that high vibration?
The source gets into some really practical stuff here.
Okay.
One thing that really stands out is what we eat.
Makes sense.
It says that processed foods, refined sugar, too much alcohol or caffeine, all of that can lower your vibration.
Yeah. I mean, when I eat a lot of junk, I definitely don't feel my best, like both physically and mentally.
Exactly.
But is it really about the food itself, or is it more about the choices we're making and what those choices say about how we're feeling?
That's a really good point. And the source actually touches on that.
Okay.
It's not about having all these strict rules
Right.
or obsessing over good versus bad foods.
Yeah.
It's more about being mindful of how different foods make you feel.
Right.
Notice how your body reacts, your energy levels, even your mood.
So it's about being more aware of what we're eating and making choices that support how we want to feel.
Exactly.
I like that. What else does the source say about our physical well-being?
Movement is another big one.
Okay.
Things like yoga, qigong, or even just walking in nature.
Yeah.
The source says those can help raise your vibration.
Hmm.
They help get energy moving and clear out any blockages.
I've definitely noticed that. Like after a good yoga class, I just feel lighter,
Right.
more energized. But what about for someone who's not really into that kind of stuff? Are there other ways to get those benefits?
Absolutely. The source says any kind of movement you enjoy, anything that gets your energy flowing can help.
Okay.
Dancing, gardening, playing with your kids, anything that feels good.
So it's about finding those things that make you feel more alive,
Yeah.
more connected to your body. I like that.
It's important.
We've talked about what we eat, how we move our bodies.
Right.
The source also mentions our environment,
Yes.
like the spaces we're in.
Exactly.
What does it say about that?
The source encourages you to really pay attention to your surroundings. Like, think about your home. Is it cluttered, chaotic,
Uh-huh.
or does it feel peaceful, harmonious?
Okay.
Do you have things around you that you find beautiful, inspiring?
Right.
Or are you constantly bombarded with negative news and stressful stuff?
I can definitely feel the difference when I walk into a store that's really organized and put together
Exactly.
compared to one that's just messy and overwhelming. But what about those things we can't control,
Yeah.
like a stressful job or living in a city with lots of noise?
That's where the source talks about creating your own little pockets of high vibration
Okay.
in your own space. It could be something as simple as having a dedicated meditation corner,
Right.
bringing nature inside with plants, using essential oils, things like that.
So even in a not-so-ideal environment, you can still create a space that feels good.
Exactly. It's about taking control of your own energetic space.
I love that. That's really empowering. We've covered a lot about the practical things we can do to raise our vibration. But the source also talks about some deeper stuff,
Right.
like subconscious patterns and energy blocks. How do those fit in?
This is where things start to get really interesting.
Okay.
The source basically says a lot of us carry around these hidden patterns and beliefs
Uh-huh.
that hold us back.
Mm.
These patterns usually come from past experiences,
Right.
and they can create blockages
Okay.
that keep us stuck in these low vibrational cycles.
So it's like those negative thought loops
Exactly.
or fears that just pop up out of nowhere. But how do we even know they're there?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. The source says things like meditation and journaling are really powerful tools
Okay.
for uncovering those patterns.
Right.
When we quiet our minds and look inward,
Right.
that's when we can start to see what's been hiding in the shadows.
So it's like shining a light into those dark corners of our minds.
Perfect analogy.
But once we see those patterns, what do we do about them?
This is where energy healing modalities like Reiki or chakra work can come in.
Okay.
The source says those practices can help clear the blockages created by these patterns, allowing your energy to flow more freely.
Okay. So it's not just about positive thinking or healthy eating.
Right.
It's about going deeper and working with our energy,
Sure.
clearing out what's holding us back.
Right.
But how do we know if we have energy blocks?
That's a good question. The source says to pay attention to repeating patterns in your life.
Okay.
Do you always seem to attract the same kind of unhealthy relationships?
Hmm.
Do you struggle with the same money problems no matter what you do?
Right.
Those could be signs of deeper energy blockages.
So look for areas where we feel stuck, like we keep running into the same wall.
Yeah.
But once we figure that out, where do we even begin to fix it?
Well, the first step is just recognizing it,
Okay.
bringing it out into the open. From there, you can explore different healing options.
Okay.
Energy work, therapy, even just journaling.
So find what resonates with you
Exactly.
and trust there are tools to help us.
Yes, there's a lot of support available.
This is all really starting to feel empowering. Like we're not just stuck with our circumstances or our past.
Exactly.
We can actually change our energy and create a better life for ourselves.
That's the whole point the source is trying to get across. It's about reclaiming your power, understanding that you have the ability to influence your own vibrational frequency.
Okay.
And when you raise your vibration, you not only feel better, you're also helping to raise the vibration of everyone around you.
That's an amazing thought.
It is, isn't it?
We're all connected.
Yeah.
And our energy ripples outward.
Right, like throwing a pebble in a pond.
So if we want to see positive change in the world, it starts with each of us taking responsibility for our own energy.
Precisely. And the source takes it even further.
Okay.
It suggests that as we raise our collective vibration, we'll see a shift in global consciousness. More peace, more harmony, more abundance for everyone.
That's a really inspiring thought. Makes you realize that even the smallest changes we make can have a ripple effect.
Exactly.
It goes way beyond ourselves.
It all adds up. And this brings us to another fascinating point the source makes about how vibrational frequency can be used to attract abundance.
I'm really curious about that. What does the source say about it?
It really challenges some of the common ideas we have about abundance.
Right.
It's not just about working hard or having the right strategy,
Right.
though those things can definitely help. The source says that at its core, abundance is a vibrational state.
So it's not about chasing after abundance,
No.
but becoming a vibrational match for it.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. How do we do that? Does the source give any practical steps?
One of the biggest things the source highlights is gratitude.
Okay.
It says that cultivating a deep sense of appreciation for what we already have can completely shift our vibration.
That makes sense.
Okay.
When we focus on what we're grateful for, it takes our attention away from what we don't have.
Exactly. It shifts us out of that scarcity mindset.
Right. But is it really that easy?
Well, the source goes a little deeper than that.
Oh.
It says that true abundance comes from knowing that we're worthy, deserving of receiving good things. It's about letting go of those beliefs that tell us we're not enough.
So it's about shifting our mindset to one of abundance,
Yes,
believing that we deserve all the good things life has to offer.
exactly. And that can make a huge difference.
I can see that. But what about when we're going through tough times?
Yeah.
Like financial struggles or losing a job? How do we stay positive then?
That's where faith and trust come in.
Okay.
The source says that even when we can't see how things will work out, we can trust that the universe is on our side.
So even in those moments, we can choose to believe that things will be okay,
Yes,
that we're supported, and that there's still abundance out there for us.
exactly. It's about shifting from fear and worry to faith and trust.
And the source says that when we do that, we open ourselves up to new possibilities,
Right.
things we might have missed otherwise. That's a powerful reminder that our thoughts really do shape our reality.
They absolutely do. You can focus on what you lack, or you can choose to align yourself with abundance, no matter what's happening around you.
But how do we know if we're doing it right?
The source says to watch for synchronicities.
Okay.
Those little coincidences that feel like a sign from the universe. It could be meeting the right person at the right time,
Right.
finding a new job that's perfect for you,
Okay.
or just feeling a sense of ease and flow in your life.
It's like the universe is giving us little winks to let us know we're on the right path.
Exactly.
So to wrap up what we've learned about abundance, it's not about stuff or achieving some goal.
Right.
It's about cultivating a feeling of worthiness, gratitude, and trust.
Yeah.
Knowing that we're supported and that we can create a life full of abundance.
In every area of our lives.
That's amazing.
And the source also reminds us that abundance isn't just about receiving.
Okay.
It's about giving, too. When we share our gifts, our resources, our time with others, we create more abundance.
It's like they say, the more you give, the more you receive.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one big takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
Well, I think the most important thing is that you have the power to choose your vibration. You're not a victim of your circumstances.
Right.
You're not limited by your past. By becoming aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, you can create a life that truly reflects who you are.
It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
Yes. And as we do that, we all benefit.
Exactly.
So to leave our listeners with something to think about, what's one final question they can ask themselves as they continue this journey?
Imagine you could instantly shift your vibration to the highest possible level.
Okay.
What would your life look like then? What would you be doing? Who would be around you?
Wow.
And what can you start doing today to make that vision a reality?
That's a powerful question.
It is, isn't it? It invites us to dream big,
Yeah.
to see the best version of ourselves.
And to actually take steps towards it. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this deep dive. What resonated with you? What did you learn? Share your experiences and keep the conversation going in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring and keep those vibrations high. Okay, so we've talked about how our vibrational frequency affects everything,
Right.
our physical health, our relationships, even how we deal with those subconscious blocks.
Yeah, it's all connected.
And before the break, we started talking about the connection between vibration and abundance.
Uh-huh.
I think that's something a lot of people are curious about.
It's a big one, for sure.
What does the source say about that?
Well, it really turns some of the common ideas about abundance on their head.
Okay.
Since it's not just about working hard
Right.
or having the right strategy,
Yeah.
although those things can help.
Right, of course.
But at its core,
Yeah.
abundance is a vibrational state.
So it's not about chasing abundance, it's about becoming a vibrational match for it.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. But how do we actually do that?
One of the key practices the source talks about is gratitude,
Okay.
cultivating a deep sense of appreciation for what we already have.
That makes sense. When we're focused on what we're grateful for, we're not dwelling on what we lack.
Exactly. It shifts our perspective.
Right. But is it really that simple? Can just feeling grateful really bring more abundance into our lives?
Well, the source goes deeper than that.
Okay.
It says that true abundance comes from a deep inner knowing
Okay.
that you are inherently worthy,
Hmm.
deserving of receiving good things. It's about letting go of the limiting beliefs.
Okay.
The ones that tell us we're not good enough,
Right.
or that we have to struggle to get what we want.
So it's about shifting our mindset from lack to abundance.
Exactly.
Believing we're worthy of receiving all the good things life has to offer.
Yes.
I can see how that would be powerful.
It is.
But what about when we're facing those tough times?
Right.
Like financial problems or job loss. How do we cultivate abundance then?
That's when faith and trust become super important.
Okay.
The source says, even when you can't see the way forward,
Yeah.
trust that the universe is working in your favor. It's about surrendering control, letting go, and allowing yourself to be guided.
So even in the midst of those challenges, we can choose to align our vibration with the belief that things will work out,
Yes.
that we're supported, and that abundance is still there for us.
Exactly. It's about shifting from fear and worry
Okay.
to a space of faith and trust.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do that, you open yourself up to solutions you might not have seen before.
That's a powerful reminder that our thoughts really do shape our reality.
They really do.
Yeah.
You can choose to focus on the lack,
Yeah.
or you can choose to align with abundance,
Yeah.
no matter what.
But how do we know if we're actually on the right track?
Pay attention to the synchronicities,
Okay.
those little coincidences that feel like a wink from the universe.
Hmm.
Meeting the right person at the right time,
Uh-huh.
finding the perfect job opportunity, or just feeling a sense of ease and flow in your everyday life.
So those are all signs that our vibration is shifting.
They can be, yeah.
That's really encouraging. So just to recap, abundance isn't about the material stuff.
Right.
It's about cultivating a vibration of worthiness, gratitude, and trust.
Exactly.
Knowing we're supported and that we have the power to create abundance in every area of our lives.
Every area.
That's amazing.
And remember, abundance isn't just about receiving.
Right?
It's about giving, too. When we share our gifts, our time, our resources with others, we create more abundance.
It's like a cycle. The more you give, the more you receive.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into vibrational frequency, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
The most important message is this. You are an energetic being.
Uh-huh.
You have the power to choose your vibration.
Okay.
You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're not limited by your past.
That's powerful.
It is. By becoming aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, you can create a reality that aligns with your highest self.
It's a message of empowerment.
It is.
We all have the ability to raise our vibration and create a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
Absolutely. And as we do that, we contribute to a collective shift in consciousness.
It all starts with us.
Yes, it does.
So as we leave our listeners to ponder all of this, what's one final question they can ask themselves as they continue their journey?
Imagine you could instantly raise your vibration to the highest possible level.
Okay, I like this.
What would your life look like then? What would you be doing? Who would be by your side? And what can you start doing today to bring that vision to life?
That's a great question to end on. It challenges us to dream big and take action. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this deep dive. What resonated with you? What insights did you gain? Share your experiences and keep the conversation going in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring and keep those vibrations high.